Randy, Esther, good morning.
Hey, morning.
Good morning.
Um, well, you want to get started, Lindsay?
Yeah, I think we are ready. I'm not sure what you guys are working on this week. How's your big win since this is accountability for everybody?
Yeah.
What are you working on?
Anybody want to start off? Kenny, I know there's something you're probably doing.
Sorry, I was washing dishes while
No, no, you're
joining this
good.
meeting. Um, yeah, I think Jen mentioned about the duplex we recently closed on. Um, our W-2 and kids' lives have been busy, so we've kind of been slacking on that. But I think we picked the contractor that we're going to go with to get the vacant site renovated. Um, so that's the pretty much the next task for us to do.
Kenny, how do you, for your out of states, how do you pay your people that do work for you, whatever trade or whatever they're doing?
So I think like for this one with the contractor, we pay, um, I think for this one, this is a new contractor we're using.
Mhm.
So far we haven't had too much luck with keeping our good contractors.
Yeah,
Um, but we're gonna pay for the materials. They're gonna send us what they need to buy, and we'll pay for it. But as for the labor, we're gonna pay as they complete it.
yeah. Do you pay
So,
like via Zelle? Like how are you?
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that depends on the contract. I've done Zelle, I've done Venmo,
Mhm.
um, I've done I've done they some have given me like their checking account and I've deposited
Yep.
in there. So um, yeah, there's no I don't really have a standard way. It's more on what the contractor can take.
Yeah.
But I would say between Zelle and Venmo, those are the two most popular ways.
Yeah, the only reason I ask is I'm not sure if Lindsay you faced this, but a lot of different vendors that you can pay through, or depending on your bank, will give you a limit that you can send, right? So if you have a big project going on, that's one of the things you don't think about until you've already sent 2,500, 5,000, whatever it is, and then you go to send another 2 grand or 1,000, whatever, and it says you've hit your limit. So now you got to get creative, figure out other ways to, and it's not impossible, it's not hard, but you're just taking time out of your day to, like you said, go to their bank and deposit into the checking or
Yeah,
pay another with another vendor. So your bookkeeping could be different because it's differently tracked. So those are the things to think about when paying people from out of state
yeah,
instead of like somebody in person you can just hand a check to or paper.
yeah. Definitely ran into the limit issue.
Mm-hmm.
I so yeah, the first time that happened, didn't know about that. The second time when they asked to do that, I said, there's a limit, there's a daily limit and a weekly limit of what I can do.
Yeah.
So I asked them, is there any other way? And they said, no, this is the only way. I said, okay, well, I would have to pay you in chunks
Mm-hmm.
because I'm hitting that limit.
Yep.
Um, I think it helps between me and Jen. We both have Zelle accounts,
Oh, there you go.
so we can double it. But still, yeah, like you said, if it's a large project, like let's say I had to give them like $20,000, then
Mm-hmm.
that's still going to take at least a couple of days between me and Jen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things, Lindsay, after later on in the call, wanted to talk about just like structuring an out-of-state investment portfolio. As far as I kind of call it the ugly side of the business of being a business owner, and it sounds great to just buy rental cash flow, $400 a month, but there's more that goes into that, day to day, year to year, and then as you scale and grow, things can get more challenging. So that was something I kind of wanted to go over, just how that looks or how other people are doing it, and just talk about that a little bit.
Sounds good. For the payment, I have one contractor that takes credit card payments. So
Oh,
I use their credit card. They charge, there's a processing fee of like
yeah,
5%.
yeah,
But if it's like a chunk of like, I don't know, if you're paying $15,000, then that's all points that come back
mhm.
to your credit card. So I don't really see as a downside of the processing fee. But both my property manager and my contractor take credit card payments.
Oh,
There's only
that's
two
neat.
contractors that I used in the past
Yeah.
that I run into the sell situation, which like 2,000 max per day.
Hmm.
And then I do chunks with them. Yeah,
There you go. Get those points.
I know.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes the fee is worth it. The processing fee is worth it sometimes to, be able to pay. And because you're getting points, you're getting a free flight or trip or, things like that. Oh, that's cool, Paul. Um, there's a Wave app. Is there a fee or a process or anything like that, Paul? I think you're muted.
There we go. Sorry about that.
No.
Yeah, I use Wave apps from my
Mhm.
other side business that I bill my clients with, and they can pay right directly on the invoice that I create.
Mhm.
And that there's no monthly cost associated with that app. Your standard 3.5%. So it varies between 2.9 and 3.5%.
Okay.
And that takes it out of your net deposit. So your client's not paying that, but you are, but it deposits directly into the checking account that you set up with
Mhm.
that app. And I've used it probably for 10, 11 years and no problem. And I've actually was on a call last night with a contractor in Tennessee who had to replace a sewer line. And I said, okay, so I'll send it to you this way. I'll pay you out a credit card this way tonight, but then moving
Yeah.
forward, you have to get this app up and running so I can verify that I get my invoice first and a
Mhm.
receipt simultaneously.
Wave app. Okay, I'm gonna look that up.
Is there a limit that you can send money to people, like a 15,000 per
That I
day?
don't know yet. I haven't crept up that high yet.
Hopefully you
So-
don't find out.
Yeah, but there's no monthly cost on it, and you will because I'm looking at my 1099K that I just got received from them. So it breaks it down per month, the payments received, that kind of stuff. I don't know if you can go in there and separate that out per person, but once again, your receipt itself shows you that. So, but yeah, I would highly recommend
That's cool
it.
because it sounds like it does some bookkeeping as well.
Yes, it does. Yeah, you can
Yeah, that's-
integrate it with QuickBooks and all that if you like. But I mean, I have a different money program that I run called Money
Yeah.
Dance, and so it's a little more labor intensive, but everything's on the up and up, and there's paperwork. There's paper for everybody. So
That's huge.
That's really good. That
Yeah.
could in-stream all of your invoices with your bookkeeping at the same time. So
yeah, if
that's
you
a really
like,
good tip, Paul.
yeah, if you like QuickBooks. I mean, I bought the program and threw it in the trash. I hated it, but that's me. It just seemed very cumbersome, and you couldn't do a lot of cross account transfers without a lot of work. And so I literally threw the program in the trash. This is garbage. So, but
I'll put it on the chat.
Yeah, I'm actually downloading that now.
yep, there it is.
And then Rick, I spoke with my tax strategist, and she is actually not taking any more referrals right now due to the busy season. So I kind of just got in at a perfect time. This is my first year with her, so I apologize for that, but she's not taking anybody right now.
I have one that I'm using right now.
Are they taking referrals or new clients?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, Rick, I mean, if you're open to connecting with Esther on that, I think that might be a beneficial person of the team.
How many rentals do you have?
Are you talking to me or Rick?
No, Rick.
Oh. He may have stepped away.
Would we go right? Maybe He might have lost.
Rick connects from work, so he can't really talk.
Okay.
He would just answer in the chat.
Randy, that's a nice shop you got behind you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm doing a barn dominium in it, so
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Where do you live, Randy? You're in Texas, right?
yes, East Texas.
East Texas. Okay. Looks like it's nice and sunny there as well.
Yeah.
Good. Well, any other wins this week? Any other big news or growth from anybody this prior week?
I have, if you guys all recall, I had that triplex out in Fort Collins,
Mhm.
and that one, it didn't fall through, but how would you say, I politely rescinded the interest in it.
Okay.
Then due to that persistent realtor there that I've got to know just outside of business as well,
Mhm.
he's like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and schedule somebody to go over and take a peek at it and verify the numbers that you were thinking it was going to cost to get it up and running. So that was supposed to happen last week. Contractor had to go out of town, blah, blah, blah. So hopefully I'm going to give Chris a call today and find out if that came to fruition.
Yeah.
And then, because according to Zuber, this is the month. You know, we're
Disrespectful offers.
yeah, and
Okay.
that's what I'm looking to do. So I'm waiting on some. Anyways, I'm gonna call Chris, verify the contractor went out there, and see if we can figure out some kind of deal to cover the cost of the rehab, get it up and running, give me some kind of like a interest only note from the seller for a couple years to get my money back out of it, to build up a little bit of equity to help that offset maybe purchase from them. But it's work in progress. But
Awesome. I think that's huge. Sometimes sellers need a second opinion to know that, you know, we know what we're talking about most of the time. So they just need to hear from somebody else to finalize the deal.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Lindsay and I talked this week, and we talked about her throwing a disrespectful offer. And did you end up doing it?
Yeah, I'm here today. And then I told you about a property that is discounted, in my opinion, on my market. And I also told you that I was going to offer it to Jen. So Jen is also on the call here, and then she knows about it as well.
Nice.
But it's listed for 48,000, and I offer 40. It's only been 1 week in the market. What I heard from the realtor is like the owners are from out of state, they're tired of renting.
Yeah.
They just want their money out, so that's why it's priced significantly lower.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm working on right now 2 different portfolio deals in Montgomery. One is 7 homes and the other is 14. These were brought to me. One was brought by a wholesaler. Ended up doing my research on the property, one of them, and saw that it was on market. And I typically don't deal with, you know, things that are on market, so I thought it was a little weird. So I saw a realtor's name who I'm familiar with, who I know really well out in Montgomery, and I called him and I was like, hey, what's going on with this? And he's like, there's no wholesaler dealing with this. So there was a mix-up with the seller. Supposedly he signed an agreement with a wholesaler and a realtor to put it on market. So finalizing all of that, the wholesaler ended up being wrong. They're trying to sell a deal they did not have. Connected with the seller, and it is off market, but it's pitched through a realtor. So I'm dealing with that one now. I have a disrespectful offer in on that one, and then the 14 unit I have a call with today for further information. So hoping to close at least one of these or figure out a plan forward for one of these. They need a lot of work. They're older owners. Their kids don't want them. They just want to get rid of them and be done with it. So hopefully they just take the cash. They've owned them for a long time. So, you know, my offer should be a good enough. They're all paid off. So we'll see what we can do with those. It'll be a lot of work, labor intensive, fixing up 7 or 14 homes, whatever it is. But it's a project I'm looking forward to.
7 or 14 homes?
Yeah, one is 7 and then the other is 14, 2 different sellers. Yeah. That was my goal. I want to pick up a couple portfolios this year. a little easier, and you can find a lot of those tired landlords who own those portfolios who are one out of state, or two, like the one who's older and his kids don't want anything to do with it. So that's the goal for today. I'm actually walking another flip here locally as well right after this call. So I might throw a really disrespectful offer on that. I think it's a little overpriced, but we're gonna walk in and see with my contractor. So that's this week for me.
Wow. Good for you.
Yeah, it's been busy. We're gonna take a little break next week and head down to Lindsay's area though, get in the nice sun and nice weather.
Yeah, let me know, but you can connect. Even
Yeah,
though it's cool,
definitely. Yeah. My wife's got some event to go to, so I'm gonna go probably take the kids just out somewhere, figure out something to do. So good morning, Jim. Another funny story with that. Woodland, this Woodland house has continued to be a stressful item for me. They paid rent last week. I think we talked about that. They paid me another week of rent. Somehow on Tuesday or Wednesday, I think Tuesday, he was able to rescind the check. So the check got taken out of my account after. So I don't know how he did it, but it was able to get some. He may not have had the funds. I'm not sure. So I called his bank, tried to figure out everything. I'm not a member of his bank. They wouldn't give me any information. I couldn't figure out why. So I immediately said, all right, fine. So I'm getting a dumpster delivered as we speak right now to the driveway, and I'm just done with them. So a dumpster is getting delivered. I will be out there after I walk this property, and we're just going to get them out. So yeah, this one's continued to be a mess. They will not, everybody asks, like, are they going to squat? Are they going to squat? He's not going to squat because he's paid for 5 or 6 pods to clear out his hoarder house. So he's storing those pods in a yard. So he doesn't want to pay rent on those pod storage. So he's not going to sit at the house and do nothing. So he also has like a motorhome, bunch of cars. So there's a bunch of things that are not tied to the house, which is why I don't think he will squat. Plus, they don't have any utilities right now. So I don't think it'll be an issue. I'm going to show up. We're going to show up the full team today and a dumpster in his driveway. So today should be the day. I'll know at around it's getting delivered in an hour at 9:20. Yeah, about an hour, 9:30, and I'll be out there around 11, and we'll see.
Part 3 coming next Friday.
Huh?
Part 3 of the story is coming Friday.
Part 3 will be next Friday with hopefully good news.
Don't miss it.
Yes, yeah. It's been a crazy. They're bipolar. They're hoarders. They've had a very dark past, if you can read between the lines on that. Very unhealthy and older. So they really needed every dollar that they came from this pre-foreclosure. So I don't foresee it being a hassle. It's just time and wasted money out of my time. Like I wasted a whole week on this that we could have been working, and I have holding costs on this house, and that's why I was like, this is the last straw. I'm not giving any more rent. I just need to take possession over. So we'll see in a couple hours. I got a 40-yard dumpster getting delivered to the driveway. So
good luck on that, Vincent.
Thank you. The fun part of investing. Yeah.
Is this in California?
Yes. Yeah, right outside of Sacramento, kind of. More of a kind of rural area. This area is like the property's not in a rural area, but that town is more like rural. That's how you say it, rural.
Have you ever tried physically removing somebody before from their houses? And then
No.
No.
I've never had to. Oh, Jim, I hope he does fill up the dumpster. He cleans the house out for me. I'm open to that. I don't have to pay my guys.
Right.
I work with mental health. I think that's you're probably getting into emotional fight.
Yes.
For a few days, probably.
So when we signed the purchase agreement, we walked the property, everything. We knew it was a hoarder, a house. Very, very disgusting, very low quality of life in that house. And we talked about him cleaning it out. So we did a portion of the closing costs or closing funds up front. So he got a good amount up front to prepare, because they have $0 in their name. So to prepare for the move out. So he went out, bought a motorhome, pods, all this stuff, paid things off, whatever. Cool. That's fine. Do what you want with your money, but you have a month. So he had 30 days. It's been 2 months. I closed December 27th or something. So it's been 2 months.
Right.
So he rented it back for the next month, February, but this last week was the last straw. So with them, I told him, like, you're going to open up a box, and that box is now going to take you 2 days to go through it. But you have 6,000 boxes you have to go through. So I very well know that it was going to be an issue for him to clean it out. They told me, hey, we're going to leave a bunch behind. Cool. That was part of the deal. So, we buy them as is condition. So leave what you want, take what you want, and we'll discard the rest. But they now are so well enveloped with their stuff, they're like, we don't want to leave anything. So they had a oversized 2-car garage full of clothes, from the cement floor all the way up to the rafters of just clothing. Like, there's nobody in the world just needs that much. And they just go to what are those called, like flea markets, and they just buy, and it's definitely a mental issue. But we'll see today how far they've gotten.
Yeah, time to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, super good.
So yeah, any other wins for anybody else? Losses, big things, problems? Yeah.
No, not yet. When I bought this last house, it closed November 29th. I got $1,000 out of the seller additional. He was standing pretty firm on it, but I got $1,000 credit to close by the end of the November. Grab December's rent from the tenant, and then I got January and February's rent as well.
Okay.
So basically, the sewer line replacement I just spoke of a few minutes ago. So that one's covered, nothing out of pocket. It was just a matter of the timing to get to close by November, get December, January, February's payment. That we own that house outright, so the rent's collected, paid for all the sewer line repair, and so that's nice. We're up and running on that one. So
yeah, good. Mr. Mark, financial firefighter, you got anything going on right now? Any updates, big things? I know you're making that social media presence.
Yeah, he was, huh?
Yeah.
He's probably jet lagged from coming out to Vegas and that.
yeah, that's a long flight.
Also, is anybody to be going out to Jason Hartman's event in April?
Jason who?
Jason Hartman.
No. Who's that?
If you just look him up online, he's got a big presence. We started out drinking this Kool-Aid probably about 10, 11 years ago.
Okay.
Turned the corner, and just a different kind of format, a lot of information, that kind of stuff, talking with guys. Unfortunately, I had to make a call to either go to Hartman's event or go to the Vegas event just, last couple of weeks ago. And I make the trip out to Hartman's event. I think it's in Irvine in April. So just kind of dropping it on the table if anybody else is going to meet up and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He's doing it in California, in Irvine?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's been on Zuber's channel before.
Oh, he has?
This Jason Hartman, right? Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
If I'm thinking about the same guy, if I'm thinking about the same guy you're talking about, yeah, he's been on maybe sporadically, but even like last year, I feel like I saw him twice on the show. Yeah. He talks about like economics and things, right? Like the whole Ken McRoy, what's the other guy, George Gammon, kind of that group, right?
Yeah, he's kind of, how would you say, he's kind of above, not above, but he's kind of levitated up a little bit higher up in the macro kind of stuff.
Yes. He's been on Zuber's show, I feel like twice last year. So I feel like, yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I don't understand anything they talk about, but yeah, I know who he is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty much sure I'm gonna go, and then but if anybody else is there, I'd love to meet up with you guys.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
I think my next big one, I told Lindsay about it. Jason, Dean, and Strat have their Deal Champs meet up in April, early April in Fresno. So I'll probably head down to that one.
Is Pace on that one? I saw the picture
Yes.
of Pace and his wife.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, they
Yeah,
go.
Pace will
Okay.
be there. He'll be headlining, probably second day, end of day, possibly.
Okay. But that's more, is that more geared towards like wholesaling
No,
and
it's
finding deals
everything.
out? Oh, okay.
And it's going to be even. I think this year's going to be bigger than last year, but it's everything. I would say the difference of the two, like calling them like major events with Zuber and Jason's event. Jason's is definitely more. You're getting the speaker for that hour and a half or so, but they're telling their whole story. So they're going to tell you, I started out W-2, I started out broke, I started out whatever it was, and they're going to, Zuber is speaking, and they're going to tell you everything they do, their portfolio, what it looks like, their day to day. You're kind of getting a full in depth of this speaker, which I really like to hear. You're learning everything about them and who they are and why they're up on stage. It's super motivational. They have a hype man speaker. Like it's motivational. There's prizes, raffles, gifts. There's vendors, also there's sponsors that speak and talk, and it was a really cool event last year. I would say honestly, it was kind of life changing and eye opening last year.
Yeah, I didn't go. I knew about it because Miguel told me about it.
Yeah.
I know he went. Yeah. One thing that's interesting on that one is like PML, and Kenny and I are always interested to learn more about that. And
Jason Jason's taught me so much on just private money.
Yeah.
I will send the link right here.
I appreciate it.
I was looking it up. I was like, where is that link?
Yeah. This one, I like I said, it was life changing for me and eye opening, and it really changed my perspective on investing from April of last year to now. Just to show, I was at my W-2 when I went, and I gave myself 3 years to leave, and I left that year, last year. So like, it just did so. Yeah, thank you. I did so much like growth and self work, and it came from that. And it wasn't just real estate talk. Like there was some crypto guys, there was stock guys, the CEO of Investor Lift, the CEO of RE Simply. Another CEO. I met a billionaire for the first time there.
Wow.
Like it's just different. You're just around like a lot of different people, and they're you get to talk to them. They're standing in the crowd with you, and you're talking to them, and it's cool.
Would you say it's kind of like a West Coast Limitless then?
I've never been to one, but yes, I get those, like that vibe from it. It's like okay. There's like the motivational speaker's name's Pat Hilton. He's huge on social media. He's like. His job is literally just to speak at events, and he's killing it just doing that. But he's a very motivational, loud, throwing stuff in the crowd, getting you hyped up. Stand up, let's jump around. Like he's great at his job, and really, and he keeps the crowd up. And you're going all day. Like Zuber's been 8 to 5, so you get to like that after lunch little dullness, but you're still wide awake and ready for the next speaker, and it's definitely cool.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you remember about it, just put that link in there. We'll grab that so I can.
Yeah, it's in. I put the deal. Oh wait, I private. Oh shoot, sorry, I private message you. Not everyone. Okay, here we go. Okay, now it's in there.
There we go. Okay, Deal Champs. All right, gotcha. Appreciate it.
What's that portfolios and side hustles? What did you mean by that, Paul?
When we got started on our journey, I interviewed probably about 6 different tax organizations as well as individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Prospect Taxes, who I've signed on with about 10 years ago. Joel's the owner, so I've watched him grow, and very efficient, very tech savvy, that kind of stuff. So I thought I had read that somebody was looking if they can talk directly with the tax professional. That's who I use. We were actually on a Zoom call last night with him for an hour, getting everything set up for the LLCs and all the other filings.
Yeah.
In answer to that little statement that was made, you can talk directly with Joel. You're not in in the abyss of trying to communicate with somebody, and there's somebody different all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The referral, that's it. I get nothing out of it, but if somebody's starting the journey, highly suggested. Yeah, don't do it don't do the TurboTax thing from the beginning. It's not
correct.
Yeah, you'll create a nightmare that it takes you 3 years to get out of 4 years. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what that was.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up. Well, anybody else got anything before we kind of transition? I know there's got to be some wins. Anybody looking up and finding any deals? Anybody putting any offers in? Anybody ready for their next project?
Yep.
Yeah, always.
It's just a matter of I just retired a couple. Well, like I said, officially I retired last Friday.
Okay, what'd you do, or what did you work at?
Well, I drove for Coca-Cola for 27 years.
Oh wow.
That was my W-2, and then so I've been building the side hustles throughout the last couple of years and stuff. Had a couple side businesses, shut one down at the end of the year, and so. But because now I have the time, now I'm spent the last week just trying to reorganize tax reporting and stuff like that. So I'm not paying Joel to sift through all my nonsense.
Yeah.
So
Paul, let me ask you this, and this just came up after you saying that you were at the job for 27 years. What is your take, or if there is one, on 401k versus investing in real estate?
I'm an open book, and I'm about as honest as they'll get, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I thought I was Johnny Big Pants playing the stock market probably about 12 years ago. And I promptly lost $60,000, which was also all my kids' college money. And I swore that I would never step foot in that field again, in that arena, because you cannot compete. You know the old saying, how to make $1 million in the stock market, start with two. And so I don't touch paper anymore. It's just literal. I'm thinking about doing some seller financing in some of our properties, because I'm thinking I could probably get some notes maybe around 8% with some people that don't put less, not so much down, blah blah blah. But yeah, I don't recommend getting involved with paper assets in any way, shape, or form, other than seller notes. But that's it. Yeah.
Okay, so would you have tried to leave the position earlier if you invested earlier?
Absolutely. And that's why I've spent once my kids start getting to the time to where they can kind of understand some of this stuff. I've been silently putting thoughts and channels and like with Zuber stuff like that into their mind to get them to understand, stay away from that 401k crap and then all the rest of the pensions and all that shit. Sorry. I was a participant in Teamsters because that's who we ran with at Coke. So I can't complain that my Teamster pension will actually hit on the March 1. So I can't, I'm kind of like Zuber. I'm not an entrepreneur guy. I'm not. I mean, hands off to you, Vincent, because I mean, that's cool. You're young, but like I said, when I took that $60,000 hit and I had to fess up to the wife in a hot tub one night. Yeah, that was not a good time, but I don't recommend that paper for nothing for anybody, because the old saying goes that wealthy people control things, poor people own things.
Yeah.
And I just took that to heart that nope, never going to get involved in that crap again. So.
Correct. And yeah, Rick, that's a good point. Lindsay, do you, in your W-2, you have a 401k as well?
Yeah, I have a different take. I come from the FIRE community, which is like financial independence, retire early. And that's how it fell into investing. So normally in FIRE community, you will take advantage of tax defer accounts first, like a 401k, a traditional IRA, and then invest in a brokerage account. Like that FIRE movement is very conservative, so we don't pick and choose stocks. Like that's not the recommended form. Is invest in the total stock market or S&P 500. This is not advice whatsoever, but that's basically what I've done since I was 26, and I was able to max out my 401k, and then I took it out completely to purchase my primary residence in the first when I was 29 to buy my house here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So I've seen the power of compound interest, even a short amount to live, like from 26 to 29. So I used the 401k as a tool, like a Roth IRA and traditional IRA, because if you can continue to contribute to it and then you get a employer match, then you're leaving money on the table technically.
Yeah.
Because that could be money that you're getting in every month. In my opinion, I don't know if everybody else shares my opinion, but you can also borrow against it. And the backup there is like if you contribute to a very safe conservative investment like S&P 500, then really the market in the last 100 years has been an average return of 10%. So that's where I come from in that view. I continue to contribute to my 401k currently. Also, it decreases my tax liability. So I continue to try to do that.
Yeah, I think there's Paul, first of all, congratulations on retiring. That's
Thank
huge.
you.
It's awesome. I think there's definite benefits with it. I started at Chevron Refinery at 19. So I was a kid around adults. So they pretty much raised me. They told me max out your 401k, live off whatever's left. So I'm very, very thankful that I was in that headspace around these older gentlemen at the time, you know, when I was there for 6.5 years. So maxed out my 401k and I lived still comfortably after contributing everything. So built up a really good 401k there. I left and went to my position I just left, but I was there for about 7 years. So over the 13 years or so of being at these very high paying jobs, working these crazy hours, I saw what I built in my 401k. And over the last 5 years, I saw what I built in my real estate portfolio. And then in my head, I was like, I did this for 13 years of working crazy hours, night shift, day shift, holidays, weekends, all this. And this is, and yes, it was a lot of money, but this is all I built up. When in 5 years and only maybe 2 of actually going hard in this, I built up way more equity, made way more, you know, cash flow, investment portfolio. Yeah, that, like I was like, there's kind of a no-brainer on my end, and you know, for my what worked for my family. My turning point was 2 years ago. I was going into and this all happened in the same week. I was going into a night shift at work, and my daughter, and I've worked night shifts since before they were born, day shifts, switched rotating shifts. She actually cried as I was leaving. She's like, "Dad, can you please stay home?" And in my head, I'm like, "No, I have to go to work. Sorry, honey. Like, I can't stay home." In the car, I just started crying. Like, I want to be home. I don't want to be at work at night, leaving my son, my wife, and my daughter here at home. I want to be home. Turning point for me, I was like, I got to figure out a way out. And then that same week, that Saturday, excuse me, I worked a Saturday day shift. My son had a game and actually hit 2 inside the park home runs that game, and I wasn't there to see it. Right. So, and my wife's recording it, but the video is all shaky, and she's screaming and, you know, cheering. And at that point, I literally was just like, "Oh, I can't do this anymore. I need to be home with my family. Let me figure out a way." And then Deal Champs hit a couple months later in April, and then it just took over. And I was like, I'm going to do this. So I figured out a way, and I told myself, in 3 years, I'm going to do it. By the time I'm 35, I'm going to leave, and I successfully did it last year. So that's why I asked Paul, like, what was the importance of your 401k, or was that important, or did that make a decision, or, you know, why investing? That's kind of why I was just directing to that question.
Well,
I'm 4 weeks into retirement. I retired this year.
Congratulations, Randy. Awesome.
Yeah. And yeah, I pulled 100,000 out back in 2021 out of my 401k and started investing in real estate because, yeah, I had pretty good savings in the 401k, but I like the cash flow better. It looks better. So
right. That was always my mindset too, of I need the income on a monthly basis to eat. That was always my big thing. It's like that, because I know my bills come once a month. They don't come whenever I redeem.
Yeah.
And it was never the big pop, you know, it was always that was one of the things that Hartman taught was, don't worry about the big home runs, just get the damn singles and learn how to eat and drink within the singles and then grow the singles and keep growing them. And that's the path I chose. Everybody does their own thing, but yeah, it's
Yeah, the Zubers 40-40-40 rule is so critical. So it means so much to me because I've watched, you know, people be at these jobs for 35, 40 years and they have to cut back their life after their retirement. I'm like, no, I want to go live life after I retire. You know, that's the complete opposite of what I want to do. Like if I've worked for 35, 40 years, I want to go enjoy the rest of my life. You know, I don't want to have to cut back or chill or relax. Like, no, I want to go do it. So there was a gentleman who retired on my birthday 2 years ago. He had 42 years of the company. And he actually had to come back as a contractor.
Right.
And at that point I was like, what? No, that's I could never. I didn't, you know, you've worked, he probably started at 18, 20 years old. So he's probably in his late or early to mid 60s. And I don't want to think about going back to work and working another W-2. And it's just all those like, and it's great. The jobs are how you can have a great career, great retirement. If you're happy with that, you can live comfortably, everything will be fine. But my presence of my family was just so important to me. And you know, it's like, I'm still working hard, but I'm able to leave and go pick my kids up, or able to go drop them off at school, or able to go to practice and games every day, you know.
Right. Absolutely. Because I mean, as an open book, like I said, to kind of latch on to what you're talking about, Vincent, is that, you know, 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, thank you. But it's been a journey. Went through all the radiation and stuff, and on the meds right now. But the reason I bring that out is because of the real estate and the monthly cash flow. The day that I could retire from Coca-Cola is the day that I retired.
Nice. As soon as you got good.
Yeah, it was. I'm not sticking around for any more. There's no, and there, once you start looking at the numbers, because you end up being reasonably good at looking at numbers after the journey with investing and stuff. And then so when you look at it, you're like, well, what's the incentive here for me to stay another day? I don't, it isn't one. And so that's because, so with the monthly cash flow, we were able to pull the plug immediately. And then this weekend, we're going to talk about my wife retiring here in the summer.
Nice.
So, and then get moving and start getting in the camper and heading out, and then checking my deposits once a month. And other than that, learn how to fish and do other stuff, you know?
There you go. Well, first and foremost, sorry about your diagnosis. You seem strong. You're going to push through it. And I hope the best for you and your family. Definitely.
Good. Appreciate it. Yep. Yeah. We're doing well. All the labs are in and we're doing good. And so the reason I say that is, the only reason I brought it up, guys, is because that stuff happens. And you can't dismiss that, because who is it? Is it Dion that says, or no, I think Hartman actually says it. Invest like you're gonna get old, because you are. I think Dion says that.
Yeah.
You are gonna get old.
And I hate to bring it down even more or some more, but a couple weeks ago, Lindsay knows about this. A couple weeks ago, my mom, I had to rush my mom to the hospital, and the doctor said if I was any later, she could have potentially had a stroke. So the reason I bring that up is because I was at home working. I live 7 minutes from my mom. I was able to just stop what I was doing, go get her and take her to the hospital. At the time, we didn't know it was that urgent, but I didn't have to leave my job. I didn't have to go commute and come, you know, do what I have to do to go find her and get her. I was able to just pick up and go and leave her. So he's like, you know, thankful that I was available, ready, willing, and close. So like, that's exactly to your point of like, you know, if I was at work, I would have to find coverage.
The time off. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So I was ready and willing, and I was able to just stop what I'm doing and go get her. And it's turning out to be pretty bad for her, but yeah, we'll get through it. But yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
But thank God she has you around.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It was very, very lucky. And it's just the entrepreneurial thing. And to put some perspective too, of like, this is why I want to do this. Like, I
Right.
want to live my life. I want to, I don't want to work 40 years for somebody else. And because my mom's younger and she's going through a lot of these health concerns right now, and who knows what's going to happen to me in the future, so I just want to live and do everything I can now, and because life is short, so got to do it.
I just wanted to jump out there. The gentleman said he drove for Coca-Cola. I drive too, and so I'm like, how? And I'm hearing amazing stories. But how? I guess I'm not being a weenie or anything, but how do you have those conversations? Because I think like we're so when and I know they talked about the marriage thing and people getting their spouses on it, this, that, and the third, but everybody just want that comfortability. You understand? And then so you believe in it, but then it's like how do you push that over to your spouse and then just being on board and then just totally committing and believing. You understand what I'm saying? So like I said, the story sounded amazing, but you got that other one at the house that I mean, even like Zuber said, I think somebody, in which I know I got to finish, but you don't want to jump out there so far, and then the other one is like, oh no, I can't believe you did this, and like, what are we gonna do? What if? And so it's always those. So yeah, beautiful stories, but I'm just trying to, like I said, keep grinding it out, keep building. And then, like you said, the checks and the checks and everything will start to show. Then you'll get that, hey, I think we can, do something different. But till then, like, it's just trying to sell it. Because, like I said, I've been driving for 20 years myself. So
yeah.
Hey Val, I can offer you one thing on that. And
talk to me.
I started out doing some of the mentorship myself as well, trying to get some guys on board and stuff like that, and some other family friends and that. And I'm probably going to turn my attention on that once I get everything kind of settled down and to get it really refined. Is that it's what I call the why, Val. Yeah. And as you kind of progress down the self-help trail, blah blah blah, and all the rest of that stuff, you'll hear it being referenced more and more. Something similar to it is that you got to figure out your why. And your why is basically, why are you going down this path? Because once you figure that out, and everybody will tell you, and I too, it can't be money. Because if it's money, you end up looking and you finding a bunch of different hows, but you don't focus in on your why. And your why could be to retire early, to hang out with your grandkids, hang out with your wife, whatever it is that you want to do, go to ball games, whatever it is. Once you establish that why, you kind of become inspirational, and it's kind of almost a religious kind of experience. And then when you're real settled in your soul, when you talk to people, you come across very calm, cool, collected, and humble and honest. And people are more apt to listen to you than the broke used car salesman. And that's what I did.
That's huge. Yep.
Well, I've been married for 20 years. My wife, she don't listen to nothing I say. So
can I speak to that? Actually, can I say something with regards to that?
Please.
I'm into real estate, so it's a little bit different, but I think that the communication part's really important to get her involved, to let her see the numbers. I think when you just say, let's do this, this is the end goal, sometimes, especially for somebody that's not in it, maybe it's just harder to believe or harder to understand. So I would say communication, like show her when you're underwriting, like show her the house, see how she can get involved. Maybe she can, work with the contractors and you're the behind the scenes person. I would say, and then it depends, right? If she wants to get involved. If she does, or you see that spark or something she's good at, I think her being part of it might bring her on board before she sees the results, right? If she's not, then maybe just like show her the numbers, right? I think maybe that'll make it more believable. There's a bunch of couples that talk on the ORAAT community about how to get the other person on board, but I think the communication's a big part of it. So if she's into something specific or she's good at something specific, I would say see how you can incorporate that with real estate to bring her on board, or just going to events together, right? So like the ORAAT, Uber had it really couples focused. But even if not, even like next year, if you do go, if you didn't go this year, bring her, and she'll see other women that are in it, like I am, and other women that are not in it. Like I think Jared's wife wasn't into it, but I think being in this group, right, being in a community with like-minded or unlike-minded couples, right, then I think maybe that would help as well. So I don't think there's one thing, but I think if it's a couple of stuff, you know, you'll never know, that light bulb or that switch might switch over, and then you'll have a partner that's really into it, or at least a partner that understands it. So that would be my advice: communication and details. You know, I think if Kenny came to me and told me to buy a video game, I'd be like, no. But if there's, you know, things to gain from it, or things that I can relate to, or bring the kids in, and something that's relatable, I think that changes it. So that would be my perspective, and I hope that helps Val.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to. I don't. It's not all doom and gloom. She definitely sees me. She definitely sees me moving and grooving, and I'm like, hey, I gotta jump on. Oh, you know that, and so she hears like everything going on in the background. She's tapped in. She's. I'll say this: she's more better today than what she was 3 years ago.
See, that's already improvement. Yeah.
Right. So, but I'm just saying, like when you know, I was basing it on like it's like I'm here, but now I'm ready to go. But I was just more basing like the truck driver, just converting the whole 401k and getting out of it that way. So that's why I was more or less like the trying to convince that aspect of
like
it.
yeah.
So
trying to cash in your 401k to buy more.
Yes, and just and like you said, I definitely still want to be slow about it. And you know, and they'll say just get one a year, but I have that personality. I can't do that. It's like once I find a good thing, it's like, man, I'm ready to go. And but you know, like you said, but you got that other one that's like, hey, hold on, wait a minute. And so that's why I was saying just having that, because obviously, you know, these guys, I don't know, you know, if they're married. I know you're married, but I'm saying like the other guys, are they married, or can you just pull the, you know, you can pull the strings yourself versus, you know, because here we go again. You don't want to do all of this, and then, you know, it's like, hey, you know, then things go to the opposite direction when you're trying to build something for the house. You understand what I'm saying? And so you know, that's the one thing you definitely want to just keep everybody in mind, and not, you know, feel like, hey, you know, I really wasn't on board with it, but I just kind of let you do this, but you know, so you just those are the things that you definitely want to move real slow without being too, you know, going too fast with some stuff, if that makes sense. I don't want to feel like I'm rambling.
I think Val, like with that, if I'm understanding correctly, if you're looking at like you know, taking the 401k and just diving all into real estate, I think over time, if you just show that, okay, I bought one or two, I know it's hard to go slow, but bought one or two, this is what this one or two has done this year for me. So I bought one or two, you know, two, whatever, and it's cash flowed us $500 a month, passive income. That's what it did for this year. It gained this much equity. That's what they could do. Okay, if we had 10 of these, then that's what this can do, right? So I think over time, you'd be able to show and prove that it's a proven investment source, and, you know, a retirement method, and you know, just a way to build your building blocks. It may take some time, but I think, does that help a little bit?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
I want to add to that as well. You know, like your wife not wanting you to do something financially, I feel like both of you have to be on board, and it's great sometimes that one's more conservative than the others, right? Because like in my situation, if it were not for Kenny, I'd probably go bankrupt, because he's conservative and I'm go grow.
Right.
So you
Same
also
thing.
have to take so in hindsight, in perspective, I'm very thankful for Kenny, even though the only words that come out of his mouth every time I bring a deal is no. But you have to be grateful for that. If both sides said yes and just go, you don't know what might happen either. So I would take a look at that as well. Like if you show the numbers and she's being conservative, maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe it's some universe, you know, the universe telling you to slow down. So I would take that also as a plus. And you know, that could bring things into perspective. So I wanted to add that as well. Like if one person is more conservative in the couple, it might slow you down, but it may also be a strength in your journey.
True,
so yeah, just
true.
wanted to add that.
And you nailed that. Yeah, because that's me. I'm like, go, and she's like, put the brakes on, you know. So
Yeah.
it's, you know, so yeah, but I definitely get it though, for sure. And like I said, you know, I guess, you know, being on these groups, you get, oh my goodness, you get so much confidence. You know what I mean? And so, you know, that could be a bad thing too, but you get like so much confidence. And so you just like, hey, I can make, you know, not saying I can make this work, but hey, this
Yeah.
could work.
No, you
This
can make
could
it work.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, this could work. This can work. I just need this to happen, this to happen. But like you said, hey, I just don't want to jump out there, jump in the hammer lane and you know, here it is. And then everybody's like, hey, what are you doing?
Mhm. Yeah,
So yeah,
no, that's big. I think that's huge,
Yeah.
and I think it's good that you're getting the confidence and the strength, and that you're definitely going to do it. I feel like you can, but I always call it like a speed bump to the gas pedal. Like you're going to get over it. It's just going to slow you down a little bit, right? So,
yeah.
it's not to say you know you won't get past it, you won't get through it. It's just sometimes, like Jen said, you need that. You need those brakes. You need that speed bump. You need that to slow you down a little. I'm go go go. My business partner on a couple of my rentals, he's a speed bump. He's like, no, let's chill, let's wait. I'm like, no, I don't got time to chill. Let's go, let's move. So I definitely, you know, have that as well in me. You know, my wife, luckily, my wife she's awesome. She doesn't, she's like not into real estate really at all. She's, I don't know if anybody's met Jason's wife, Jen. She's very similar to her. They're like, okay, cool, do what you got to do, and I'll help you wherever you need to get help. But
Did you get any resistance back when you decided to quit your W-2 from
she
her?
wanted me to leave earlier.
Oh,
Right.
She was like, she's like, I believe in you. Go. What are you waiting on? Do it.
Exactly.
I was like, no, I can't yet. I can't. And she's like, just do it. Jump in. Because she works for the same company I worked for. And so she still works there now. She's like, I'll take the benefits. Like, just go. Do it. And I was like, no, I got to wait. So she was like ready to go, you know. And I tell everybody, I didn't do it for money, like to jump in this. I'm doing it for time.
Right.
The entrepreneurial thing. And yes, I am still working my butt off, working hard, but it's at my own, you know, when I want to, kind of thing. So like I'm working for my time right now, not necessarily a paycheck every 2 weeks, not to hit $1 million tomorrow. I'm just working because I can be home, practice, whatever. You know.
Why? And that's your why.
That's my why, exactly. Is my time. Yes, my family, my time. Yeah, but no, yeah, she was super supportive of it. We went to dinner the night I left. Like she was really supportive, and it was awesome. It's been awesome. She texted me at Zuber's event on what did it start, Saturday. So that morning, I texted her, I was like, "Good morning, how you doing? How'd you sleep last night?" And she said, "I slept bad." And I said, "Why?" She goes, "This is the first night you've been gone since you left." And I was like, oh, you're right. Like that put in perspective. Like I've been home every night. She's used to me working night shifts and being gone all the time, or working weekends, working holidays, all that. She's used to me being gone. And she was like, you haven't been gone. Like that's a good problem. Like I've been home every night. I've been having dinner every night. I've been around every night. So like that was Saturday morning right at the event. She texted me that and I was like, oh yeah, I like this.
Good deal.
Val,
Val, can I ask you, is she more wary about your time commitment to finding rentals, dealing with rentals, things like that, or the financial part of it, or the risk, or what is her like?
It's the risk. I got one that I'm dealing with in Greensboro right now. It didn't go.
Okay.
It didn't. It's not going well.
Mhm.
We're in a better place now, and I think like the first two were good, and actually it was more or less like I had the first one that went well. Then I got the one I got in Greensboro. Basically, it's ugly, it's real ugly, and I'm dealing with an attorney. So more or less, got excited. That's my problem. Got excited. Dude called me and was like, "Hey, I got this property in Greensboro, but it's a guy in it." So being young and not knowing, so basically bought the property. The dude is still in there. And I bought this property. It's been a year now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's still in there. So, you know, I'm, you know, so I got, I got so I got interest going out every month. So she sees that. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So she sees that. So then that's that financial. And then so I'm looking at other stuff and she's like, we can't do nothing until this one gets done.
Yeah.
And see then, but I jumped the gun and end up buying another property and got that rehab, got that done, got a person in it. So now I said that's where that confidence is. So even though I
Mhm.
did all of that, even with this one here still on the back burner, and so she's like, and so I see something else now, and I'm like, hey, and she's like, no, we're not doing nothing until this one here gets done, which I understand that, and I need to just to, you know, because here it is, I'm still kicking out money every month for this property. But yeah, so that's that's the big thing. Even though I can say just to even back her, that's to be concerning. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like
No, for sure.
I definitely need to pump my brakes until I can get this one here done. And then I think once we can get this one here done, she'll be a little bit more comfortable far
Mhm.
as, you know, moving forward. But I'm
Yeah, that's the
just,
type of stuff that'll kick people out of real estate investing, like that type of stuff right there.
yeah,
That'll take them out. I look at
yeah,
it as it's a longer term, like what you're going through, but I look at it as you had a bad day at work, you still got to show up the next day, right?
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I'm
And that's
sure
and that's
Paul
that's
in 20
definitely,
years, Val in 20 years, you guys had some bad days at work. You still got to come the next day and do your job, right? So that's the way I kind of looked at it. Yeah, a year is a long time to be dealing with that. I get that, but I definitely could be, challenging. This is awesome. I love this. I think this is a definition of an accountability call.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Val, in regards to your wife, she might be falling, from there my vacuums are going off now. Sorry. The fear perspective of false evidence appearing real. And then so if she's not hearing your message or feeling it, first off, you have to be secure in your why to be able to translate over to her to kind of work on her as to what her fears about trying this. And then the more you know, the less fear you have. And so that might be that you have to expand your learning about stuff to where you can have a relaxed conversation about this is what I found. This is why I think it's a success, based on all this work that I put into it. And so because you're trying to soften her fear about following you.
Yep.
right.
And that just takes time, a little bit of finesse. And, I started out being a pit bull too. And it don't work it works for you, but it don't work very well in a relationship. So
Yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm gonna pump my brakes. I'm just, like you said, hey, you're on the Zuber train and everybody's getting it. Not that, like I said, it's a competition, but it just kind of keeps you motivated and it keeps you moving. So when you seeing things and hey, make disrespectful offers and you like, man, that could, if we could lock that up and but like you said, hey, everything happens for a reason. But this is why I also like the groups, just so you can get different perspectives from other people and how they feel. Love to hear the women's input, and also too, it also helps surrounding yourself with other investors. I got other investors. She went to. She went to a party and I wasn't there because I'm working. And somebody asked, "Hey, how's that deal going?" And so she can actually kind of explain. And they say, "Hey, this is part of real estate." So then I can kind of step back and be like, "Yeah, I'm glad they looked out because if you paint everything doom and gloom, none of us will be where we are." You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So with that being said, so it's definitely just to make sure you're putting yourself around the right groups and people that definitely understand what's going on and how this real estate stuff goes sometimes.
Spoken perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, enough about me. I done took up enough time. So
No, you're good. This is what this time is for.
This is what Suber was trying to get everybody, right? Like get your spouse in the same page because it does matter as a team effort. Like if you try to do it alone, then you might advance at a 20% rate, but if you try with your partner, then it's gonna grow significantly higher how you can or
yeah.
you want to be a competition canoe, or do you want to be a barge?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So true. Yeah.
I think what Bella's saying is like his wife is on board, but she just wants it to move things a little bit slower.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had issues more with, not issues, but my grandma and I are very, very close. And when I tell her about what I'm doing or what's next, she's like, "Hey, you need to slow down." I'm like, "No, I can't, grandma." And I think she just comes from, she was military for like 24 years, and then worked for the government for like 20 years after that. So she's like, "You have a good job, just work." And I'm like, "No, I don't want to." Like, so I think she just comes from that era of just if I'm gonna do this, do it slow, make sure you're doing it right. And I'm just like opposite of that. Like, no, I'm doing it. I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna dive right in, and we're just gonna do it. So we're gonna grow and build. So like when I talk to her, and it's been a couple years now. Now she's fully involved and she understands. But it was like that dynamic was really hard to get her to understand. She's like, "You're young. Why aren't you working a great job?" Like, and I do a great job, but I don't want to do that anymore. It's more to me than just a paycheck every 2 weeks. So that took a lot of persuading her to get her on board. And not that I need to as my grandma, but she's like my best friend. So I wanted her to understand what I have going on and stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff.
Well, awesome. Anybody got anything else? Lindsay, you got anything?
We broke ground in my garage because I'm doing a ADU conversion in my primary residence. So
Really?
yeah,
I didn't know that.
mention it.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so my garage is detached just towards the back of the house, and I've been trying to, since last year, I put it on my permits and everything, got a contractor and an architect, and it took 8 months to get permits done for my conversion of the garage. So now the contractor started, so we broke the ground. They're gonna lay the foundation reinforcements and all of the things. So we're doing that right now. Last week we started. So
wow, when is it projected to be done?
4 months, but
Okay.
so like 6
Yeah,
months more
6
like
months. Yeah, that's awesome. If you don't mind me asking, what do those rent for just in that space?
So I'm gonna try to do short term for this year. I'm gonna try to do bonus depreciation on that. So hopefully it will write off my W-2 taxes. Hopefully.
Thanks, Paul.
See.
Take care, you guys.
But long term, I probably would be a midterm rental, and Section 8 pays in LA County. Not that I'm gonna go that route, but they pay 2,500.
Oh.
So for what 1 bedroom, possibly I could get between 2,000 and 2,500.
That's huge. Okay. Congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah.
One step closer.
End of the year.
Yeah. But that's good. Good.
Yeah. We'll see.
Are there separate entrances, or are you guys like sharing, or how does that? Okay.
Yeah, so my house is in a corner lot. And so the main house is facing one street and the garage is facing the total opposite street.
Okay.
So
it works out perfectly.
Yeah.
Anybody else doing it in your immediate area?
Yeah, there's a lot of ADUs around my area, even SB9, law SB9. So they're splitting the lots and building a whole new house. I live in the suburbs, so there's a lot of space. Like my whole lot size is like almost 9,000 square feet, and my house is only 1,400 square feet. So there's space still. So maybe
good for you. That's huge. Yeah. Well, awesome. I don't have anything else. If nobody else does, I think this is a great call today. I really appreciate you guys coming on and sharing your stories and talking
and talking smack, Mark.
Yeah.
That's always with Mark. Well, look, yeah, we're a family now, man. I hurt my feelings if y'all left now, but yeah, man, I think it's good stuff. So yeah, I appreciate it. Look, I'm opening up details of my life, you know.
Yeah, no, we love it, Val. This is a safe space, and we appreciate
yeah,
it.
for sure. But nah, I love the communication. But I guess it's just, you know, I'm one that always second guess myself, and so when you can just, hey, put it out there, and then you get the feedback, so that's good. So then you don't have to wonder what if, you know what I mean? So
yes, sir. And if I can help in any way throughout the week, you know how to get a hold of me. And yeah,
absolutely, yeah, for sure. Yeah, y'all have a good week. For
yes,
sure.
Sir. You too. Lindsay, thank you again. Mark, Mikey, Rick, Kenny, thank you guys for joining.
We'll be hearing about your story next week.
Yes, I'll have an update for you. Yes. Look, not looking forward to, but I'll take care of it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Y'all have a good week for sure.
All right. Have a good one, you guys.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.